We're supposed to be splitting rehearsal.
No, we don't go this week for Andre. I didn't know that. We only have one day of Andre.
Yeah.
So it's Faustus, Freddie and UU,
And then but even going on that, like with the communities that we go to and the schools that most of us go to publicly, it's the diminishing factor of taking away art from these kids.
God, yes.
Especially at a young age.
Yeah.
At a young age when you can only express yourself through art, to take that away from them is only creating monsters.
But you know what they do?
It's cheating them, because one of my fellow playwriting students, classmates, just wrote a piece that was done down at NYU Theater Therapy or Therapeutic Drama, however it's called.
Yeah.
But art is an outlet. Art is a way, you know, if there's things going on in your life that you don't know how to deal with in your everyday life, theater is a place where you can, in a safe way, channel that and have a positive result. As opposed to what could possibly become destructive behavior or having emotions bottled up inside of you.
Well, and it makes you feel not alone, because even if it's a character in a show dealing with something that you can relate to, you don't feel quite so alone in your struggle or in your story.
Like jumping off of what you said, like about art and the school system and them cutting it, they would never cut sports in an all-black high school, right? Because it's a fucking cash cow. Okay,
that's what makes them
like
money.
people make money off of sports, right? And not to diminish sports, because I truly do think it's like a beautiful and very like technical craft.
Yeah.
But when no one sees when they don't see money behind anything, right? When they don't see like the ability to like access the level of white people and things, they're gonna X-nay it. And so art X-nays that, because there's so little opportunity for people of color in art. They're like, well, I'm not gonna make any money off of this. You know what I'm saying? These kids aren't gonna make any money off this. Kids and teachers that think like that. Oh my God, like.
I think also on top of that, it's not even just because it's a cash cow, because you can create theater where it is a cash cow. I think it's more to the fact that when you get closer to your art and you get closer to self and you get closer to community, you affect change.
Yes, and that's terrifying.
Come on now.
But if you are doing sports, you are already in the system.
Yep.
It will break you down so much and so fast that we don't have to worry about you. The money that you make early on, we don't have to worry about later. You will make $50 million, but after that $50 million, you're not gonna make nothing. Percentages show that all these people lose their money. We've got Mike Tyson's, we got all these people that lose hell of money. But if they were artists, if they came through the world that we came through, if they knew the things that we knew, I don't think they would lose their money.
Yeah, and I do think that there is a way for athletes to like evoke their own artistry, you know what I'm saying, in their work. But I feel like because sports are so much a part of the system in which we live in, especially this country, they're like they're
black community,
especially the black community.
Yeah.
And they just know how they're smart. They know how to get kids. They know to lure people in with money. Like, the system is smart. The education system is smart. Flawed, but smart in that. And I do think that that's terrifying to them. Like, people that you can start a revolution with art. You know what I'm saying? That's terrifying.
You really can.
That's terrifying.
In one of my classes in undergrad, I had a class taught by someone who lived through apartheid. I thought it was so cool. I was an English major. He was a part of this secret underground
That is so
newspaper.
cool. That is.
And he really talked about, you know, me being so passionate about poetry, how poetry was a big factor of change in that society, because when a performance was done, no matter what color you were, you came. And of course, them folk was hurting. They put a lot of their stresses, their struggles, and all of that into that art. You know, seeing poetry scribbled on the walls. You know,
People are
art,
Renaissance.
yeah,
Absolutely.
art is change.
And it allows you to access different parts of you. Like when I think about theater in my life, like my mom threw me into arts in general, dance, play violin, go take some acting classes. One of these is gonna pick up. But for me, it became very therapeutic in allowing me to deal with all of my personal issues, like you said earlier, in a way that was safe for me to deal with things, and at the same time teach someone else how to safely deal with it. So then when I got to college, we did a thing at my school, the repertory company, where we took some plays and we brought it to different places where people couldn't get to theater. And I mean, and especially these schools where they've had the arts taken from them, and you know, you get these children who are very fidgety and full of life, who want nothing more than to burst out of themselves, and they're being told to sit down and be quiet and do this and do that, and to have to untrain them so that they could participate in this interactive piece that they were a part of and that they felt ownership of, where we would take their stories and put them on the stage. It was Page to Stage is what it was called. And you know, like just the excitement that they got, where it was like, I helped do that.
Yeah.
Which then we like would talk to the professors after, or the teachers after, and the amount of focus that they had after that in class was like, but it's like when you allow a kid to be a kid and you allow a child to express themselves and to be imaginative and to burst things out and to not like shun them and tell them, no, don't do that, sit down, be quiet, be still, listen, read, math, science, social studies. It's like you can't do that to a kid. You have to let them be a kid, because then what they do after they've like done all of these things and like allowed them the space to be a child and to play and to be imaginative and become a dinosaur and then be a police officer and then allow them to be in a wild, wild west, like the amount of focus that they have after that is so important. And it's mind-boggling that people don't see that and people don't get that.
Yeah.
I think one of the hardest things is some people do see it. Because I don't want to get into the fact that I'm saying teachers are bad. They're just put in horrible situations.
They're put in terrible situations.
They don't get paid enough, and they're putting in all these hours.
And to deal with so many outside circumstances.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's so, they're just put in a horrible situation to just get a kid ready for the next test.
A test. Teaching to the test.
And their neck is on the chopping block.
Yeah, so I like, that's a horrible thing for me.
Yes.
For the kids, for the teachers, for anybody in that situation. It just seems more as we're failing the population, like majority of the population.
Right. Systematically, we have put these implications in place where you have to do these things, and the trickle-down effect of that is that we are now, the teachers are suffering and the children are suffering.
No one's thriving.
No one's thriving from it. It's not getting any better.
Nothing's being created.
No.
Because what's created out of that is a individualistic mindset. You have to make it. It's about you passing the test. So after you learn that as a kid, it's not about, you know what, this community needs to make it. Like, it's not that point of like, you know what, let's all be the valedictorian of this damn class. It's like, no, it can only be one.
Me and myself.
Me, myself, and
the art doesn't